Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and felt like you're not the mom your children deserve? Have you ever found yourself trying to connect, but it felt like there was an invisible wall between you and them? And even though you're giving it your all, you still feel absent? If so, you might be going through something quiet, but very common, absent mom syndrome. It's a kind of pain that hides behind forced smiles, completed checklists, and sleepless nights. Today, we're going to talk about that. About the guilt no one sees, but that many mothers carry as if they were bricks on their shoulders. And maybe, just maybe, by speaking honestly and from the heart, we can begin to lift some of that weight. Stay with me until the end. This video might be the hug you didn't even know you needed. Being a mother isn't easy. It never has been. But these days, with so much pressure, information, comparison, and mental exhaustion, being a mom has almost become a superhuman mission. And you know what hurts the most? It's not just physical fatigue. It's that feeling of being there and not being there. Sitting beside your children but feeling emotionally far away. Doing all the tasks, but not really feeling anything. That has a name, absent mom syndrome. And contrary to what many people might think, this absence has nothing to do with a lack of love. Quite the opposite. These are moms who love deeply, but for many reasons, emotional, psychological, past trauma, burnout, they just can't express that love the way they wish they could. And then comes the guilt. The heaviness. The fear of failing their children. Today, we're going to talk about that. In a real way, with no judgment, and with open hearts. We're going to look at the 5 main guilts these moms carry, and maybe, by naming these feelings, you'll feel a little more seen, a little lighter. Let's begin with one of the most painful, the guilt of not being able to show affection. That ache of knowing you love your child, but feeling like you just can't express it properly. When hugs feel delayed. When "I love you" gets stuck in your throat. When you want to listen closely, but your mind is so tired that you simply shut down. Many moms blame themselves for seeming cold, distant, or even indifferent. But they're not. They're just overwhelmed, emotionally numb from so much pressure, so much weight, and endless demands. Not showing affection the way the world expects doesn't mean you love less. It means you're fighting internal battles, often alone, and those battles drain your emotional energy. There are days when it feels like you're on autopilot. You make breakfast, clean the house, bathe the kids, but with a tight chest, like something is missing. You ask yourself, why can't I smile? Why do I feel distant, even when I want to be close? This is a silent pain, but it's real. And even if no one talks about it, thousands of mothers feel the same way. It's not coldness. It's exhaustion. And even in the midst of all that, you keep trying. And that, in itself, shows just how much you care. This guilt comes from love, but it needs to be met with compassion. Affection comes in many forms. Sometimes, it's in preparing meals. In waking up early. In trying again, even when you feel broken inside. This one's a heavy one. Many mothers slowly realize they're repeating painful patterns from their own childhood. Sometimes it was a cold, rigid, distant upbringing. Sometimes, they had an emotionally absent mother, and now, without meaning to, they see themselves doing the same. And the guilt hits hard. I promised I'd be different. I swore my kids would never feel what I felt. And now look at me, doing the same thing. But here's something important to remember. Breaking cycles takes time. It takes effort and a lot of self-awareness. The very fact that you recognize something is wrong, that you feel guilt, already shows your desire to do better. But doing better requires healing, and healing is not instant. Sometimes, you'll slip. You'll say the same words you once heard. You'll respond with coldness when what you wanted to give was comfort. And it's not because you don't care. It's because that's what you were taught. That was your normal. But now you see things differently. And that is the beginning of change. You're not stuck. You're in the process. And every healing process begins with the courage to face the mirror. Have compassion for who you were, and be proud of who you're becoming. Another quiet guilt is not being physically present all the time. Whether it's because of work, studies, responsibilities, or even the need for some time for yourself, which, by the way, is absolutely necessary, the guilt still creeps in. Society has painted a picture of the perfect mom. Always available. Always smiling. Always playing on the floor with the kids. And anyone who doesn't live up to that image, even for good, healthy reasons, carries guilt. How many moms come home from work completely drained, needing just a few minutes of silence, but end up punishing themselves because they couldn't give their kids their full attention? How many feel constantly in debt to their children for being away all day? Here's the truth. You are doing your best within your reality. Working to support your home is an act of love. Saying, "I need to rest today," is also a way of teaching your children the importance of self-care. Presence doesn't have to be constant, it needs to be authentic. Even a few minutes of real connection are worth far more than hours spent physically present, but mentally somewhere else. Sometimes, your child is right there, full of energy, asking you to play, telling a story, looking for your gaze to feel seen. But you're checked out. Staring into nothing. Lost in thoughts you can't control. And that creates a deep emptiness. Why can't I connect with my child? Why can't I feel what I'm supposed to feel in this moment? This kind of guilt cuts deep. Because it feels like you're failing at something that should be instinctive, emotional connection. But the truth is, many mothers are carrying unresolved trauma, old emotional wounds, silent depression, chronic exhaustion. All of that builds walls inside, like something inside you just shuts down. There are days when even physical touch feels overwhelming. A simple mom sounds like an alarm your body doesn't know how to respond to. And then the guilt grows, as if you're being mean. But in reality, you're just trying to survive. Emotional connection can't be forced. It needs to be built, little by little. And to build it, you have to first look inward and ask yourself, what's blocking this feeling? Sometimes it's an unhealed pain. Sometimes it's pure exhaustion. But here's the most important thing, you're not alone, and this can get better. Therapy, support, self-care, time, all of these things help. Please don't beat yourself up for trying to survive. And finally, maybe the most common guilt of them all, the guilt of not being the perfect mom. The one from the commercials, the movies, the Instagram stories. The mom who has time for everything. Endless patience. Perfect hair. A spotless house. The one who makes cute lunches, tells bedtime stories every night, and still smiles like life isn't hard. That mom doesn't exist. Comparison is the quickest path to frustration. And in a world of social media, where everyone only shows the best parts, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you're falling behind. But being a mom isn't about being perfect. It's about being present in your own way. It's about loving, even on the hard days. It's about getting up, even when every part of you wants to stay down. It's about trying. Again. And again. And again. The guilt of not being the ideal mom only exists because you care. But maybe, just maybe, you're already the mom your child needs. Even with flaws. Even on gray days. Even in the quiet moments. If you've made it this far, I want you to really take this in, with an open heart. You are not alone. You are not failing. You are not weak. You are human. And being a mother doesn't cancel your humanity. You feel. You get tired. You cry. And still, you keep going. And that, on its own, is a powerful act of courage. Absent mom syndrome doesn't define you. It simply shows there's a part of you that needs care. And by acknowledging that, you've already taken the first step toward healing. Allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Your kids don't need a perfect mom. They need you, real, imperfect, but doing your best to be present. Now, before you go, if this video spoke to your heart in any way, please hit that like button. It really helps us spread this message to other moms who might be feeling the same. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this, created with love and honesty. And hey, there's another video showing up on your screen right now. Click on it, because it goes hand in hand with everything we've talked about here today. I'll see you over there, alright? Sending you a big warm hug, and see you in the next video.